So now talking about the types of control charts. So we make control charts for mean of our data and the standard deviation of our data. So mean is been represented by mu, which is known otherwise the process, and for a sample we use x double bar. For standard deviation, which is sigma, so for estimating standard deviation we use control charts, and we use R chart and S bar chart. So S is process sample standard deviation and R is the range. So there could be many charts. So we have some combination of types of charts which are possible, which will have a known value of mean and known value of standard deviation, or unknown values of these parameters. So let's come there. So when we want to make an X bar chart, so when the mu and sigma are unknown, this is the first type of chart. So X bar first condition. So when we want to make X bar chart, the center line will be X double bar, which I have already said. What will be X double bar? Summation of xi bar divided by the number of samples which we took, and then xi bar is summation of xi divided by the size of the sample. So n is the size of sample and m is the number of samples, and we'll stick to this convention every time. The upper control limit will be x double bar plus a2 times r bar, and LCL lower control limit will be x double bar minus a2 times r bar, and this is equivalent to x double bar plus 3 times sigma x bar, sigma of x bar, and lower control limit is same as x double bar minus 3 times. So we are moving plus minus 3 times away from the center line, and this x r bar value comes from the similarly from this. So what range means, whatever is the maximum value of our observation minus the minimum value of our observation, and this is generally useful. The R bar chart is useful till we have small sample size, 4 or 5 or 6. If it goes very large, then x max and x mean will be very far, and then the range will not be a representative parameter for standard deviation. So in that case we shift from R chart to S bar chart. So upper control limit will be D4 R bar, lower control limit will be D3 R bar, and there are charts available to find out the value of A2 and D4 D3 as per the value of n. So these all constants are a function of n. So there is a chart which have A1, A2, D1, D2, small d1, d2. There are many things, C1, C2 and many things, and these are all functions of n. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 20, 25 are it is given. So we can find the control limits using this. After we get the control limits, what we do is, this is the center line. We plot all the observations. So this is upper control limit, lower control limit, and then we plot our observations, whatever observations we have got. And if our observation gets outside the control limit, then at that point of time we take action on our process and do necessary changes. And there is a relation between this, so we can find the relation between sigma x bar and r. So let's see over here. So we can equate these two terms and get this relation. So A2 is eventually 3 sigma divided by square root of n r bar, and so I said that we will use r as an estimate for sigma. So estimated sigma is equal to R bar by D2. So again this D2 is somewhere given in the table. So using this relation, the A2 is equal to 3 by D2 square root of n. But we need not remember these relations. All the values of these constants can be directly read from the table. Then there is another chart where mu and sigma are known. So in that case, the first chart is for mu. So since mu is directly given, we need not calculate x double bar. So x double bar need not be calculated. We directly have this. So mu and sigma are known. Upper control limit will be mu by plus 3 times sigma by root n, because here it's compulsorily x bar is required. So the relation is already known, that sigma x bar is equal to sigma by root of n. So we can use this. So mu mean chart is ready, and R chart in that case will be d2 times sigma. Upper control limit will be d2 sigma plus 3 d3 sigma, and these constants are again combined and made another constant d3 sigma. d2 sigma and lower control limit will be similarly d1 sigma. So finally center line is d2 small d2 times sigma. Upper control limit is capital D2 sigma, lower control limit is capital D1 sigma. All this d1 d2 and this d2 are available in the chart. Again we can make a relation here. Instead of calculating doing by root n, we have directly made another constant a. So this a is also there. Many constants are there. There are so many constants. So in that x bar chart, mean will be x. So these two charts will be same. Center line will be mu. Upper control limit mu plus a times sigma. Lower control limit mu minus a times sigma. And again we can equate these two limits and find out a relation between a and root n, right? Okay. And then there are other charts which I said were using s bar values. So s bar has another formula, that is standard deviation of the samples. So this is the formula for s. So in that case, when the mu and sigma are unknown, the control limits, x bar chart control limit is given by center line is this, and control limits are given by this. Upper control limit x double bar plus a3 s bar, lower control limit x double bar minus a3 s bar, and s formula is here. Formula for s is here, and for each values of s we can find out the values of s for each sample and then take the mean. So we'll get s bar similarly. The summation of si divided by number of samples, right? And then we have another chart, s chart. So that is having center line as s bar, which we have already calculated, and upper control limit b4 times s bar, lower control limit as b3 times s bar, and this b3 and b4 are again constants depending on the values of n. And I said earlier that we'll use this s bar as an estimate of sigma. So sigma estimated is s bar by c4. C4 is again a constant. We'll use that, and using this relation, that again we can make the upper control limit is equal to s bar plus 3 times sigma of s bar, because this chart is for s chart. That's why the standard deviation is for s bar, and we can equate these two and find the relation for b3 and b4 accordingly. So we can use this relation, but these are not required. We can directly use the chart. And then we have another chart for x bar and s where mu and sigma are known. So earlier mu and sigma were unknown. Here if mu and sigma are known, the x bar chart will have upper control limit as mu plus a times sigma, lower control limit as mu minus a sigma, center line is mu, which is already known, and s bar chart. So the center line will be c4 sigma. Here it was d2 sigma. Upper control limit b6 times sigma, lower control limit b5 times sigma. These constants can be found from chart. and the formula for S bar are here. S bar is here. So when the sample size becomes variable, so first sample we have some value of sample. So first sample is of size 5, another sample is of size 6, third sample is of size 3. Then in that case we cannot directly take such mean. We cannot directly have this because the sample size will vary. So in that case the n. So Si by n, when we do this, so the n values are also changing. So in that case we need to take S bar using this formula. So these were 4 main types of control charts which are for variables. So these were control charts for variable. Afterwards I'll do for attributes also. So there can be attribute based control charts. Okay.